Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to all of our viewers and listeners tuning in with us here in INCRadio, Texas Satellite Studio. It is currently 1:31 p.m. Central Daylight Time here in Universal City, Texas, and I am your host today, Brother Justin Talioga. And let's see who else we have here with us today. First off, we have one of our co-hosts here with us today, Sister Mayfan over there in Houston. Sister Mayfan, how are you today?
Hi, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, magandang umaga, magandang tanghali, at magandang gabi to all our viewers and listeners out there. And because I woke up late, I'm not with you, Justin in UC today. I'm reporting here from Sugarland, Houston, Katy. Oh, this place is so big, but
To
somewhere
me, they're
there.
the same thing. To me, they're the same thing.
But yes, co-hosting today with Brother Justin, I'm Justin Mayfan, as I said, joining you today.
All right, thank you so much, Sister Mayfan, for being here, and also here with us in the same-ish area. Sister Wendy, how are you?
Doing well, Brother Justin. Yeah, and I agree. This is so big. Houston, Katy, we're all in Texas. So, yeah, and of course, we're not alone. I believe we have our wonderful panelists with us, Brother Lester and Sister Jan. How are you guys doing?
Hi,
Hello.
our first time in INCRadio.
Yeah.
Room for me.
Yep. Also from Houston. Let's see. Even though, let's see, we can be like 1 hour apart, it's still the same city, Houston. That's how wide it is. But yeah, very happy to be here.
All right, thank you so much, you two, for being here with us. And for today, for our topic discussion today, for our viewers and listeners here on INC Radio, we're gonna our topic today: never stop learning, because it's never too late to continue your education or even start on a different career, whether it would be pursuing like a higher study, or maybe you want to do something different. Maybe your current plan isn't really something that you would prefer, or maybe you started college but then stopped for a period of time to take care of something, but then you decided to go back, or maybe you started working right after high school, and then at some point in time later in the future, you decide to finally get that degree, and that's our what we're going to discuss today. And of course, we can never have our show, of course, without having our question of the day, which is, what is something you have always wanted to study? So let us know in our live YouTube channel. We'll be sure to read your answers at some point during our show. It looks like we have quite a bit of viewers and listeners here with us right now. We have my sister Pauline with us, Aguinaldo, tuning in all the way from Sacramento, California. We also have a username Lani tuning in from the District of New York. We already have quite a bit of viewers and listeners here with us today, and we're gonna get back with you all as we are able to. So let's go ahead and then dive into our top discussion. So we'll open this over to Sister Jan and Brother Lester. So, what did you two study?
Sure. Sure, I'll go
Either
first.
one.
So, yeah, sure. So I'll go first actually. So, for my bachelor's, I studied accounting, right? But after graduating from accounting, let's see, working in the industry for 2 years, I kind of found out that I wanted to become a software developer. So, just as brother Justin mentioned, I decided to do a career change and learned how to become a programmer over the course of that 1 year. And now I am a senior developer. But at the same time, because our field is constantly changing, I decided to pursue a master's degree of computer science and data science in Rice University.
And then as for me, I've straight out of high school, I started my associate's degree in nursing. After 2 years, I graduated and started working as a nurse, but I was also pursuing my bachelor's full time at the time. So I was working and going to school at the same time. And then I graduated my bachelor's in 2021. Worked for 3 years, 2021 to 2024. Then 2024, I started my master's in nursing leadership at Columbia University.
Wow, thank you so much, brother Lester and sister Jan. And I think you too, sister Wendy. You also pursued um, a higher study too. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. So I started also same as Brother Lester in accounting, and it's back in Taiwan. But then I wanted to have an experience in a different country, and so I did apply for masters here in Texas, and I luckily got in and pursued still somewhat in accounting, but just more specialized in international tax.
Oh wow, you made a quite you made quite the move there. Moving all the way from where is it? Is it Thailand or Taiwan?
Taiwan.
Taiwan. Okay. Wow, that's oh wow, that's quite the move right there. Don't you think, Sister Mayfan? like just moving from one part of the globe to the other. Don't you think, Sister Mayfan?
I can relate. But speaking of going to masters, I am also like planning to do my masters, but I'm staying in the Philippines for that. I don't think my bank account agrees with me doing masters here. So
Oh, is it easier for you to study over there instead of studying here, Sister Mayfan?
it's hybrids. You can do virtual online classes, and if the course that you want or the masters that you want offers it, why not take advantage of it? You can work and study at the same time. So no excuses right there.
Agreed, actually. Yeah. So for both of our masters, it is let's see, majority of it are online actually. So what's really awesome about today's day and age is that you can study virtually anywhere.
Yes, that's definitely true. It's very helpful. And there are always downsides, but it's very helpful, especially if you're really into your adulting life and you don't want to let go of whatever you're working on or you're doing. So why not keep going, especially if it helps the master's course that you're taking. So if it's in line of your work of what you're doing right now, that's additional like learnings, and that's already like hands on, so you don't have to be confused, because some of us learn through theories and some of us learn through hands-on. So that's why do they say that, like two birds one stone.
Yeah, and I'm really curious to hear too, Brother Lester and Sister Jan, what led you to make the decision to go back to school?
Let's see. So I guess for me, when let's see, I believe that it's really never too late to find your passion, basically. So it all started when one of my little sisters asked me to help her create or help her see like how to design like a website, and then that's when I first started dabbling into code. And then I saw that many of my friends are also programmers, right? I was like, you know, this seems to be really fun, actually. During that time, I was studying for my chartered financial analyst exam, but at that time, I started questioning like, is this really what I want to do? So unfortunately, I did fail that exam, but that opened doors for me to go and pursue something else. So we decided like to pray about it for a bit, and then I saw an advertisement that there's this free course that was happening in Bronx, New York, right? And then that course taught me how to program at the age of 28. And then now I'm a senior developer ever since. But the only thing is that like because our field is constantly changing, you always have to up your repertoire. That's why I kind of like never stop learning. Hence, that's my
So
decision in what to pursue. Oh, go ahead.
so I guess you said that you failed some accounting courses here and there. I guess you could say that some of those things happen for a reason. Is that right, Brother
Yeah.
Lester?
Yes. Well, um, yeah. Basically, it's more of like I found out what I wanted to do, Ironically enough, 2 years after college.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. When you were studying accounting back in college, did you know what you wanted to do after during that time instead of software developing?
It was more of like, let's see, sometimes like passion changes like based on like the moment of your moment, like let's see, like life moments, right? So back then in accounting, I liked studying it, and but working on it was not necessarily something like I wanted to do as much. I'm not too much of a people person, you could say, right? But when I dabbled into code, it was as if you were solving puzzles, and I love solving puzzles. So then I was like, what if we could do this? Let's see, long term. So it was more of like a pull that number one, I thought like, let me go and see and try to pursue it. And then it turned out, let's see, that you can make a career out of solving puzzles.
So you're saying that in your career you have crossword puzzles, word searches, and jigsaw puzzles. You're saying I can do that as a software engineer?
You could say so. Like you could imagine solving problems. Yep. So
As a
when you
software
think of
engineer, I'm sure you're like, what is 14 across? What is 32 down? I need a
I'm,
five
I'm
letter word.
picturing I'm picturing out Sudoku actually, where you can put like numbers.
See, okay, see, I'm okay. I'm sure it takes more than a software engineer to solve those because they tell me like how to count it for those puzzles, but I'm just like, yeah, I still don't know.
But on that end, I can relate to Brother Lester and his change of careers. Because when I started with my bachelor's, I also thought differently with psychology. I was like more on being a doctor, especially with the mind, so a psychologist. And then when I started working, it slowly transitioned. I mean, it's in the same area, but now it's more on SPED. So it's not special ed. Because changes do happen. And the more you, how to say, the more you open your mind to all the things that the certain thing is introducing you to, or the world is introducing you to, everything changes. So it just progresses, I believe.
did you
Mm.
found that you let's see, did you found like a passion or calling when you switched to like teaching special ed?
Yes, because I
Awesome.
had one kid that she had, I believe, ADHD. She was diagnosed, and that time I didn't want anything to do with special ed because I just wanted to teach, like be a psychologist, be like that. And then this kid told me, "You're different, Miss May. You understand me." And that's when it
Oh.
all
Oh,
clicked. I'm like, No, so here I am.
That's so
Sad.
good. And
well, what's it?
I
Well, what that? Oh,
Yeah, I
I'm sorry,
do
Vivian, go ahead.
agree. Yeah, I do agree with Sister May. Similarly for me, I mean, I was also inspired by his love for learning and all of that. But really, you don't really know what you really want to do unless you really dip your feet into the water and just go with the flow. I knew that I wanted to advance my education one day when I graduated my bachelor's, but I wasn't really sure which path to take because as a nurse I could become a nurse practitioner, which is a little elevated. You see your own patients and all of that. You make individual, you see individual patients and you change the world in that way. And then there's also the path to nursing leadership where you come up with policies, you assist in research and really just make a difference, not on an individual level but in a greater scale. So 2 years into my current specialty right now, I realize I think I want to do leadership and make a change on a larger scale, especially in this world where it's just constantly changing. It's like you have to constantly change with it and improve yourself in the process.
Wow, so many even if you're even if you're going into a certain career, but there's so many different ways that you can go into it. I know this because I major in economics, and then after I graduate, I'm just like, what am I going to do now? Because let me ask everyone here: when you think of the word economics, what comes to your mind when it comes to jobs?
Accounting.
Sitting,
Okay, that's one.
analyzing.
That's one.
Economy?
Economy.
Lots of spreadsheets.
Okay, you're right on that. Yeah, but shortly after, out of lots of interviews and job searches, I actually found a very good career working in Parks and Recreation. And then no, I'm not working outside. It's actually kind of funny because when I tell some of my friends that I work in Parks and Recreation, I usually tell them, "Oh yeah, yeah, I am doing this in Parks and Recreation." The first thing he asked me is, "Wait, so you're a park ranger?" And I'm just like, no, no, I'm not that. At least I hope not. I don't want to deal with those wild animals. At least no, it's actually a lot more administrative than that, and it's actually a lot of fun doing that. We're gonna go back to that because I see we already have a lot of viewers and listeners, and most of whom are very anxious to have their comments read. So it looks like we have excuse me, looks like we have Pauline Algonado who says, I have my degree in biochemistry and a law degree as well, but I've always wanted to learn ASL or American Sign Language and even just a little bit of coding. Okay, so she wants to do a little bit of everything. Okay. And we have Matt Carl Talents who says, I want to learn to play the guitar or any musical instrument. The only thing I can play is a triangle or a tambourine. Well, you have no idea how important those instruments are, those last two. And we also have Russell Moranan who says he wants to study something regarding environmental policy. We also have Beng Aquino who's tuning in from Killeen, Texas. And here on our live YouTube chat, we also have Olivia Castillo tuning in from Houston, Texas. And we also have Rin Taliogo who says, we're having fun in the district CFO planning conference. Thank you to those who came and attended the conference. And we also have Nathan Russell who says, "No more school for me. I want to learn skills or start a business." And we also have Raquel Akayabiab who's tuning in from Corpus Christi, Texas. And we also have Timothy Conroy who's tuning in from Killeen, Texas. We also have Will Sampson who's tuning in from San Antonio, Texas. And we also have Brother Michael Buke who's tuning in from Universal City, Texas. So thank you so much to all of our viewers and listeners who have been tuning in with us so far. And again, please answer our question of the day if you haven't already, which is what is something you have always wanted to study? And also, while you're at it, go ahead and hashtag where you're from, whether you're from uh, Austin, Corpus Christi, or maybe you're in some city that's on the other side of the world. Go ahead and let us know where you're tuning in from, and we'll make sure and hopefully we can give you a shout out wherever it is you may tuning in from. Now, as we are moving on with our topic, so our topic is never stop learning. And then there are times when it comes to a college, some people stop schooling for a while, or maybe they decide to go straight to work, but then at some point in life they decide to go back to school. Sometimes they leave work so they can go to school full time, or maybe do it part time so they can still work, whatever their situation may be. But of course, uh, whether you decide or not, life does go on. So I want to ask this question to everyone here. Um, do you ever stop and wonder if it's too late to continue learning and pursue a higher study?
Definitely not. Definitely not too late. I would say that, let's see, the best time to learn was, or the best time to do this was yesterday, but the second best time is today. So, I mean, I learned how to code at the age of 28. Probably like when we think of computer scientists, there may be a stigma that you had to start from a very young age, but I feel like you could start anytime. So when I was learning, there were folks who were in their 50s and 60s who were learning how to code.
Yeah,
That
because
was
the
during.
thing that, oh, sorry.
Go ahead, yep.
Because the thing that is really like, it's very redundant, but the only thing that's constant is change. So, but
Agree.
one thing's for sure is like school is always there. Learning is always a process. It might be the littlest things, how to turn a key, how to drive a car. It's a non-stop process. So might as well go ahead and get a degree or a master's or a doctorate with it because you're gonna do it either way. Just go for it, I guess.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, and the key is really just start. Like
Hmm.
get that verb going and I know we talked about going back to school, but there are so many different formats of learning. You can get a certificate, you can, go to school to actually pursue a degree, but um, some good points. Start today, better yesterday, but today. But the key is really start, and you don't have to have just a single framework thinking, oh, I must go to school. But there are a lot of options and a lot of resources just at your fingertips.
Yeah, even at work, they offer still learning. They would
Hmm.
have seminars that a lot would skip.
Yeah,
Those are very helpful. Those are very helpful. Like they give you certificates to teach you more, to make you learn more, and you might not know it. Joining those seminars, you'd meet people, or it would open new doors to you and be like, "This is not what I want," or be like, "This is exactly what I want."
right. I did want to piggyback off what Wendy mentioned that you can learn skills through different means, right? So some skills you could learn by practicing from like an online video and reading an instructions, and that's perfectly fine because many of the times when I started learning coding, it was like that. Like when it comes to a degree, the reason why I decided to pursue it was because I wanted to learn state of the art technology from experts in the industry. But we don't want to limit the learning just on college alone because there are different resources. And
Mhm.
if you look hard enough, I'm pretty sure that they are available there.
Yeah. I had a professor before in college because we were struggling with psych stat, and I think he also gave up on us. So he said, if you still don't understand it, there's YouTube University. Go. And like half of the class understood it using that single platform. And he was not a bad professor. Not gonna. No, he's not. He's not. It's just it was really hard to understand,
Oh, yes.
but it helped a lot of them. So that's a great example. Like there's a lot of platforms to learn from.
Yeah. To be honest, yeah.
Sometimes
Oh, go ahead.
yeah,
Sorry.
sometimes it's really the professors who also affect your learning, whether they influence as to what you want to study or where you want to continue studying. I know this because back when I was still in community college, there was I took this macroeconomics class because that was required, and then and then I and then another way I remember this because there's this website that ranks professors based on what other students prefer, and he was a low ranking. And then when I looked him up, and I'm like, oh well, this will be interesting. But then when I was taking his class, turns out that class was actually very interesting. Like he was very engaging. He was I um, uh, I wouldn't say force, but more like motivating students to like get involved in class. He was giving everyone a chance to speak, solve these equations. And I'm like, wow. So this is why this means this. Also, this is why this equals. Oh, okay. And then back then, I wanted to major in management, but since then, I wanted to major in in economics. So I'm like, okay, if this is interesting, if there's more to this, and this is what I want to study.
Life
Mhm.
changing experience meeting that professor.
It 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 literally was. It literally was. Uh-huh. And I kind of want to piggyback off of what you said, Brother Lester, when you when you supported how it's never too late to stop learning. In one of my history classes, there was this individual, right? He came to class, a briefcase, nice dress shirt, and he had a tie. He looked ready to go, and then I'm like, oh wow, I've never met this professor before. But then he sits with the class. And I'm just like, you're not the professor? He's like, no, I'm the teacher. Do you guys have the syllabus? I'm like, no, 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 we don't. And then it turns out this man was in his 70s. And then I asked him, "Oh, why did you want to go back to school?" And he said, "Oh, there's this degree I want to do. I want to continue working." And I'm like, that's that that takes motivation. That takes a lot of effort to do. So thank you for being here. And also thank you so much to all of our viewers and listeners who have been with us here on INC Radio. Here on our panel, here on our discussion, we've had a lot of students, former and current, who either pursued a certain higher study or are currently pursuing a higher study. And then we learned that it's never too late to stop learning, no matter where you are in life. It's always good to continue pursuing that wisdom. So thank you to all of our viewers and listeners, and also to all of our uh, hosts and panelists who are with us here today. And of course, we do have some announcements here coming here from the District of Texas. Last week, we had our Songs of Salvation a cappella competition, which was actually held here in Universal City. And then next week, we'll be having our district biking and picnic activities. So we'll see everyone here once again here in the Universal City, San Antonio area. And before we close out, looks like we have Camille Riera tuning in from Humboldt, Texas. We have Alorna Tyree tuning in from Killeen, Texas. Ivy David tuning in from Humboldt, Texas. Raymond Riera tuning in from Austin, Texas. We have Roy Joshua Mamakos tuning in from Victorville, Orange County, California. And we have Kevin Marin, who says, "I'm currently learning outdoor skills called bushcraft skills to live off the land, something to make me physically active, but learning life skills at the same time." And we also have Dr. Gregorio, who's tuning in from Corpus Christi, Texas. And before we end our show, we can never forget to thank our district CFO overseer, Brother Matt Carl Talents, our assistant district minister, Brother Chody Sampson, our district supervising minister, Brother Noel Caritativo, our executive producer, Brother Emmanuel Endaya, our CFO coordinator and CEBSI CEO, Brother Angela Arano V. Manalo, and of course, we can never forget to thank our beloved executive minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo. Thank you so much for all your support in these programs. And before we wrap up, Brother Lester and Sister Jan, do y'all have any greetings and shout outs for us?
Sure. Let's see. First, shout out to the locale of Houston for welcoming us and supporting us, as well as the locale of Sugarland for being our home away from home, and of course, like to all the locales in New York City who are watching here, and to everyone. Let's see. Yeah, that's supportive of the show.
All right. And Sister Jan, how about you? Did you have any greetings and shout outs?
Well, whatever Brother Lester said, and also, of course, our family in New York who are tuning in right now are very excited to
All right.
be
Shout out
here.
to all right. Shout out to Houston and New York. Sister Wendy, how about you?
Yeah, similar to what Brother Lester and Sister Jen said, shout out to everyone who tuned in today on a Saturday with us, and also a special shout out to local of Houston.
All right. And how about you, Sister Mayfan?
Everybody is getting shout outs for Sugarland and Houston. Oh, wait, no, for Houston. But I'm sending my shout out to Sugarland. Yay! Oh,
All right.
are we switching our show time or not yet?
Oh, we'll find out soon.
Mm-hmm.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned for that. All right. And again, thank you so much to our viewers and listeners who have tuned in with us here on INCRadio Texas Satellite Studio. If you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe to our INCRadio YouTube channel. That's INCRadio DZEM 954. And also go ahead and click that notification bell button so you can get all the updates on all the programs from our INCRadio YouTube channel. And don't forget to tune into INCRadio Texas, which for now will be every Saturday from at 1:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time. And please tune into the next show, which is INC Radio Virginia. Thank you so much. We will see you next time.
This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.